Hey friends, we're live. I'm coming at you live from Miami, Florida. It's almost Christmas. Christmas less than a week away. And I want to say welcome to 2024. What are you going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? It's here. So I got some exciting things to share with you. Stick around, invite somebody to join us. Put in the chat where you're watching from. I'm glad you're here. I'm really glad you're here. All right.
Back and beyond, Michael D. Butler, Global Book Publisher. We're ending human trafficking at 1040impact.org.
Took me to the DMV. I just don't celebrate birthdays. And I don't remember exactly why I quit celebrating birthdays. Maybe it was because on my 16th birthday, my parents happened to be both out of town on business trips. I mean, it was just my 16th birthday. I was getting my driver's license, growing up on the farm in Oklahoma. My brother checked me out of school in third hour and took me to the DMV. Now, I'd studied hard for that test. I wanted to pass it. I wanted my freedom. And that was a Monday. And the reason I know it was a Monday is because the guy that did the test, he only did the test on Monday. And I was so proud. I came out and I had my picture, weighing 136 pounds, sophomore. Right there, I got my ticket to freedom. So he takes me to the Pizza Hut, and we're eating pizza, and we're celebrating. And I get to drive my car back to the school, and I get to drive my car home that day. We had planned it that way. But that night, it was quiet, and it was lonely, and it was empty in the house. There was no birthday song, there was no celebration or birthday gifts, and there was no birthday cake. My brother, who would go on to be valedictorian, would study every night in his room. He was in his room. There was no internet. There was no social media. There was nothing. It was just quiet. Maybe the reason I don't celebrate birthdays is when I turned 40, Dad calls me the day before my birthday and says, "Son, let's celebrate your birthday tomorrow." And I said, "Yeah, that'd be great. I've got a lot to celebrate. Let's do it." He said, "Tomorrow at your favorite restaurant, 12 noon. I said, "You bet. I'll see you there." Hang up the phone. The next morning, he shows up at the restaurant at 11:50. Dad was always early. He grew up on the dairy farm, and I was always right on time. So 12 o'clock came. I didn't show up. 12:05 comes. He's a little worried. He's texting and calling. It goes straight to voicemail. 12:15, he's like, "What's going on?" At 12:25, he calls the hospital. "Where's my son?" 12:45, he drives home to tell my mom, "Michael didn't show up." Where was I? Was I in the hospital? No. I was in jail. Because on the eve of my 40th birthday, I went to the bar alone to drink, got into a bar fight, and spent the night of my 40th birthday in jail. What was it about this self-sabotage that the pain was so great that a root of bitterness was growing in my heart at a subterranean level, affecting everything in my life and everyone that I touched in a negative way? I couldn't figure it out. This year, May 10th, I was all ready to celebrate my birthday. Very excited. Friends were coming over at 2 p.m. We had the whole thing planned out. And I hear a noise coming from my wife's bedroom. And I think, oh, maybe she's wrapping gifts. Maybe she's making a cake. And I go in and check on her. I say, "What's going on?" And she says, "I'm leaving." "Oh, where are you going? You going to town to get something?" "No, I'm leaving." "What do you mean you're leaving? Everybody's coming over at 2 o'clock today." And she says, "I'm leaving for good." She takes her suitcase, and as she goes to the front door, and she says, "And I'm not coming back." And she slams the door. And that was the last I heard from her. I'll never forget when I was 7 years old, I told my dad, I said, "Dad, I'm going to live to be 120. And I think in my subconscious mind, I knew I needed that much time to redeem the root of bitterness and create what my therapist called a root of blessing. My therapist said there's two things you need to do to reverse the curse of bitterness and create blessing in your family and to bring it back. And you need to forgive yourself and you need to celebrate. Well, I was good at forgiving myself because I had screwed up a lot and I forgave a lot. And she said, celebrate yourself, come on. And that was my theme song. And I sat there in jail and said, I'm going to run a marathon this year. And Michael, Matthew, Joshua, and Jeremiah, my 4 sons, they stepped out of the spectator in the last 3 miles. They ran with me in 2008 and crossed that finish line with me. And as I told my sons, I said, sons, I am celebrating your birthday, but guess what? Next year, I'm celebrating my birthday on May the 10th, and all of you are invited. Celebrate with me.
Changing lives in New York and NASDAQ and beyond, Michael D. Butler, global book publisher. We're ending human trafficking at 1040impact.org.
All right. I'm glad you're here. Hey, this is Michael D. Butler. Welcome to the Michael D. Show every Tuesday morning. And we're going to do a quick check-in here, going live, recapping the year. I'm in Miami, Florida. Been here for a few days. Been here almost a week on business. Just reflecting and being grateful for all the blessings in 2023 and strategizing and planning for 2024. And, we've been going live here every Tuesday morning for a long time. We will not be live next week because next week is Christmas, and we'll just take a little break and focus on the new year, spend time with family. Today, I'm going to spend a little time on the beach, grabbing some sunshine, some sun rays. Kind of funny, I flew in from New York last week and did a media interview up there that's going to be airing soon. I'll share it with you. It's going to be airing in Los Angeles, New York, and West Palm Beach, Waking Up with Marcy and Hillary's show. They interviewed me on Beyond Publishing. They interviewed me on 1040 Impact, Making an Impact Around the World, our 5 safe houses, our 394 girls, our 25 full-time staff at 1040 Impact. And they talked to me about my new book, Mom Made Me Millions, little things moms can do to make a difference in kids' lives, that's launching on Mother's Day. So it's just a great time, great interview. And but when I flew into Florida last week, you're expecting sun. You're used to sun. You can see the palm trees here. I'm at a corporate establishment that I don't normally frequent because it's a woke company. And, for those of you that follow me, I'm a constitutionalist. I'm a freedom lover. I'm not into woke. I think if companies are woke, they should go broke. And but, just for the sake of convenience, checking out of my condo today and running on the beach and headed back to the beach before I go to the airport to fly home for the holidays and to be with family in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's where, I grew up in Oklahoma, born and raised. That's where my parents are. They're in Tulsa, Oklahoma. My brother and his family, my kids, 3 of my 4 sons, and just pretty exciting. Looks like we got South Korea watching. Good to see you, friend. Always glad to have you saying hi. And but a couple things on this, I'll give you just quick, because I'm just literally 1 block from the beach. And so right after this Zoom stream, you can see all the condos here. I'll give you some of the high view. Check this out. I mean, literally those penthouses go for $1 or $2 million. And but you have got an incredible beach view where you can see the curvature of the earth. And later I'll take you out on the pier. I may go live from the pier. I've been eating on the pier and jogging on the pier every morning and every night, and just enjoying God's beautiful nature. So, a couple things as I've been working on my New Year's goals, and I've been working on these since September, is, debating whether or not to do a ultra marathon on my birthday, 56 miles when I turn 56. And do I have the bandwidth and the time to train for that, to raise money and awareness for our safe houses, 1040impact.org? And yes, I do. And yes, I am. And so I've been training and at a moderate maintenance pace the last 60 days, but I'm ready to start ramping up the miles and go from 2 and 3 miles a day to 4 to 7 miles a day, which is what I need to do right now, or I will be extremely behind. And as I'm older, I'm realizing my body's changing. I can feel inflammation in my ankles I can feel a little pain in my ankles, so I'm going to get back on my supplements, my anti-inflammatory supplements. I'm not going to take pharmaceuticals. I'm going to take God's natural supplements that really work. And I can tell that I've been off them for a while, because before, when I was running, I did not have pain in my ankles. I did not have inflammation. I had other things, like last year, setting out in San Antonio to run 55 miles and going to bed at 9 p.m. and getting up at 11:45, 11:50 p.m. so I could start running at 12:01 a.m. The goal is to do 55 miles in a 24-hour period. And it gets hot in San Antonio. It gets humid. Well, I put the house up for sale in San Antonio. I'm moving and strategically planning the run, where I'm going to do the run. It might be Tulsa. It might be St. Louis. It may be Chicago. It's going to be a cooler climate where it's not humid at 2 and 3 and 4 a.m. because my foot in San Antonio at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. started blistering up. And that really affected my ability to be able to run 55 miles. And I don't know if we've got any runners watching right now, but you know that you can only, a lot of my friends and some of my authors who are marathoners and ultra marathoners, that breeze is a little chilly, can relate to this, that you hit a brick wall when it's not a mental block, because mentally you're ready to do it, but you hit a brick wall if you can't press through. And I pressed through for a number of hours on blisters. And my neighbor, where I was running in my neighborhood, because I was in a gated community between two golf courses, he was watching out his window, and every time I'd come by his house, he said, "Man, you don't want to damage your foot." Well, I'm listening to my body. I knew I wasn't damaging my foot. I knew it was just blistered and my foot was hot. And you know, the solution I came up with? The solution I came up with was Crocs, running in Crocs. And you're going to love this. In fact, a friend of mine said recently, he's about my age, 55, his doctor, his chiropractor prescribed Crocs for him for his back. And they're very comfortable. They're very affordable. You can get them almost anywhere. And I've been running in Crocs now for 8-9 months. And the big thing for me in San Antonio, it was so hot, even in the wintertime there, that I could not wear socks. And funny thing about that, literally, I would go to church, I would go to the grocery store, I would go everywhere in my Crocs, and I never wore socks. So when I moved everything out of the house 3 weeks ago and put it in storage, my socks are somewhere in a box at the back of the storage. I only have 2 pair of socks with me here in Miami, and Miami's been cold. And normally Miami is warm. And today, for the first day, yesterday for the first day in a week, Floridians have sunshine. So I'm out running. I'm out training. I will on my birthday week. I've got to look at the weather as we get closer and then see how my body works with the calendar and which city I'm actually running in. But that week, we'll do my 56 miles on my 56th birthday week, and to raise money and awareness for 1040 Impact. So I'm glad you're here. Adina Payton, good to see you. Thanks for weighing in, your comments there. That's Facebook user Adina Payton. If you log into StreamYard, when you leave a comment on where you're commenting from, it'll show up like on Dr. Julie's, best-selling author of Exatio. And that's a great book by our favorite doctor from Calabasas, Julie Shea. So Merry Christmas to you, Julie. Glad you're watching, and good to have our friend in Korea here watching as well. My Instagram friend, it looks like she's watching on YouTube. This was kind of exciting today because StreamYard has a new thing where you can actually stream to Instagram, and it looks like it's working. But in fact, I can share my screen with you. Let me just show you my screen of what I'm looking at, and you can see in the upper right corner that. Let me go to present, share the screen. It looks like it's streaming to Instagram, but as I go to Instagram, it does not. Okay, great. I'm sharing now. Great. So looky there. See up here in this right-hand corner? It says Instagram, that it's sharing to Instagram. if you can see that. It's streaming to LinkedIn. I checked that. I see it streaming to YouTube. I see it streaming to Facebook. Let me know where you're watching from. Hey, Julie, you like that shout out, didn't you? Julie loves those shout outs. Thank you. Face blue smiling. Awesome. But I don't see it streaming on Instagram, so I don't know if that happens later. It's supposed to be streaming live if they're having issues with that. Hey, I didn't want to stay on here long. I just wanted to say good morning to you from wherever you're watching from. I normally go live at 10 a.m. Central every Tuesday and just interview a guest. And ever since the war in Israel, we've talked about that. We've interviewed some of our book authors throughout the weeks. And we even had Marlena Hollis on. How you doing, Marlena? And in fact, let's see if you want to come on live and weigh in on Israel and or what you're doing here at the year end. Feel free to. Let's see if I can share the green room link with you. But really glad you're here. Let me know if you're traveling for Christmas. What are you doing? Where are you headed? I am going to be with the family in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I will be with the family, and we'll have a few days together. It will be good to see. She's not ready to go live. Okay, you gotta live ready, be ready. I understand. You're probably on stage preaching to 500 people or something like that. So we've got some exciting things coming up. I'm going to be traveling the next couple of months in the winter months. I'm going to be. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm going to be visiting some southern countries and states and staying warm, working on strategy, working on writing my books, Mom Made Me Millions, little things parents can do to change their kids' lives. Did you know 85% of a child's brain development happens in the first 5 years of their life? And so think about that. You and I walking around as grown-up adult people, there's very little we can do to go back and change brain development, even at 15 or even at 12. But think about this. If you have a child or grandchild that's between 0 and 5, that's pretty cool that you can input brain development and actually help them. You know, and some countries are further ahead than other countries on this. You know, I think of China. I think of homeschool parents. I think of Jewish parents. There's a lot of parents that really invest a lot into. I mean, you see these child prodigies playing the violin at age 2, right? And it's just incredible, like a concert violinist, and how remarkable it is that they're able to do that. Well, they've been trained from birth, really, to master a skill, to master a discipline. And I think a lot of times we forget that the capacity of the human brain, the capacity of the human spirit. And so ask yourself the question, what are my goals for 2024? How did I do on my goals for 2023? Can I complete my goals in 2023 before the new year? And more than likely you can. You might have to lose some sleep, work a little harder, give up some things. Were you serious about completing those goals? I'm going to say we're going to finish strong. We're finishing strong. I haven't been able to reconcile our accounting because I've been traveling here. But when I get back home tonight and tomorrow, I'll be able to look at the accounting for December, and we'll be able to close out our books next week. And I believe we've hit all of our goals. And it hasn't been easy. It's been a challenging year. There's been a number of challenges, as there always are, but we always create contingency plans, right? So it's not enough just to say, oh, well, I just didn't hit it. If you're really serious about being a pro, the difference between the $1 million earner and the 5-figure or 6-figure earner is the mindset of not accepting defeat. I will not accept defeat. And if I set a goal for myself, I will get it done. If I have to start at 12:01 a.m., if I have to work through the night. I can remember my younger years many times when the kids were young, working 2 or 3 days straight just because it's what you had to do and you pressed through it. And I'm not giving anyone health advice right there, but if you've been stuck on writing your book and can't seem to get your book out the door, you know, I've been teaching my course, Write Your Book in 1 Hour, for a number of years. In fact, I was selling that course pre-pandemic for $1,297, $1,300. And so throughout the pandemic, I taught many people, 8 different groups of people that came through that course, about 87, 88 people. And 55 of the attendees ended up writing their book as a result of that course. So I'm doing it again. I've got another one coming up. You can jump on the calendar and get in. Even if you've already written your book, even if you're one of our authors and you're working on your second or third book, you know, you can always improve. You know, every Olympic athlete has 8 or 10 coaches. And so when it comes to personal development in any area, be it physical, be it weight loss, be it spiritual, be it financial, be it marriage, whatever the area is in relationships, whatever the area is that you're wanting to improve in, ask yourself, how can I improve? Who are the coaches I need to hire? Who are the best people in the world at doing this? Who is already the expert that owns the space? And by the way, I do not endorse the beverage I'm drinking. I'm just drinking it because I'm getting ready to go to the beach. Now, if it was a good patriotic company, I mean, you can guess where I am. Put in the comments if you can guess where I am. What business establishment am I draining the Wi-Fi from? You know, I got to tell you, traveling around the world, this phone, and that's another company I want to switch from. I want to get off AT&T because they are so woke. They are so woke, and they think it's their duty to preach their gospel to the world of wokeness, and I just can't stand being preached to like that. And but it's been a good streaming service, and it's been a good. I would so take Black Rifle. So it's been a good stream. Like when I'm out in the woods or in the desert or in the mountains or wherever I am, and I don't have Wi-Fi, that's fine. I just got my mobile hotspot right there. Hey, I would love to say I'm just going to leave up Black Rifle Coffee Company because they're a patriotic company. They love America. They love God. They love the country. They love the Constitution. And Adina, you're probably right, Adina. That's probably right. So I'm not even going to leave that up. So I can tell you if there was a Black Rifle Coffee Company here today, that's where I'd be because I patronize. I shop. I give my money to. I buy products from unwoke companies. I buy products from patriotic companies that love America. You know, when you legalize theft in California and say you can steal up to $750 worth of items per day and not be charged with a felony, that is ridiculous. And you realize you're not going to get arrested. And if you did get arrested, you're going to have no bail, jail. You're not going to do any jail time. You're going to get out of jail. Okay. From Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. Annyeonghaseyo. Thank you. I can't really read Korean. All I know is, how are you? Annyeonghaseyo. Looking forward to being in the sunshine today. You know, here's the thing. Here's the mindset. It used to be, yeah, there you are, Adina Payton, Sweet Home Alabama, author of Surrender. I love that title. Oh, and I'm so glad. Look, here you go. Here you are before, and here you are after. We much rather see your gorgeous face, and we're so glad you're here. And we're so thankful that you're sharing your comments. Here's what I would want to encourage all of you to think about as the goal for 2024 is live streaming your show every week and using that as a method to build your list. Because in 2024, it's all about building the list. Okay. When I grew up as a 7-year-old kid, 5-year-old kid, yes, we love that word surrender. That is so powerful. It's such a powerful word when you think about it. And you think about in this world, how much can you really control anyway? How much power do we really have, right? You know, the quicker we realize that, and Adina, your story really exemplifies that in a beautiful and profound way. So I got to show you. I get distracted sometimes. I see squirrels, but see these? These will tint up. Now I wear these when I'm driving. These are a little crooked. stupid for some reason. I don't always wear these when I'm on webinars because I don't think with the black frames they're as open and transparent. And normally when you see me on a webinar, I'm wearing a pair like this that is clear. I've got a couple of clear pair that I really love. These are prescription, but they are prescription reading glasses. So I have 20/20 vision, but I wear reading glasses. And because I'm always on my phone or reading or at the computer, I do prescription. And I've got a couple of my clear pair that actually will tint up. Now these tint up. I wear these when I'm traveling and I'm not on Zoom, but you know, I always have 2 or 3 backups. I always travel with 2 or 3 pair, and then I actually have another pair of, I'm not going to mention the brand name because they might be a woke company. These were a gift to me, these aviators. And, you know, I don't have readers here, but they're kind of cool. They're a little darker. They get a little darker than these guys, and these guys don't quite get dark enough of at the beach. But since I'm going to the beach today, I've got these. But if I need to get on my phone, I'll throw these on for a little bit to do a text or an email or something. So anyway, that's my travel plan. I travel super light. I'll never forget pre-COVID, 45 nights in a row, 8 countries, 2 hemispheres, including Israel, South Africa, England, several others, I think Colombia, doing book business and travel, 2 carry-ons, not even a checked bag. So anyway, there you go. I'm not even selling glasses today. I'm telling you all my stuff. But the point I wanted to make was in 2024, you need an online digital strategy and building a list. You want to sell books? What's the purpose of the book? You want to make an impact. You want people to read your story. You can launch a book, but if nobody reads it, it's not going to impact. Now, Adina's book, for example, Surrender, you know, it's really targeted to mental health professionals and first responders who don't get the care that they need and the resources they need to process trauma they're dealing with on a daily basis when they respond to a domestic violence call or a suicide call or whatever the case might be, where they have to see somebody get shot or they're actually on the receiving end or they actually end up shooting somebody because they overreact and they end up killing somebody. So her book, Surrender, tells the story of losing her son in a standoff like that. And even though the story is very sad and tragic, Brad Pugh's life is not in vain because she's telling her story in the book Surrender. And it really, she's been given tremendous favor with local officials, government officials. And I like that, Dr. Julie. I want to come back to Adina, but Dr. Julie and the Friends Show, I love it. I want to be one of your friends. Oh, my battery's getting low. I'm going to have to end soon because my battery's getting low. So yeah, follow Adina. Y'all be sure and comment wherever you're watching. Give us your website, give us your Instagram so we can follow you back. And Merry Christmas to everyone. For some reason, this battery went quick. Normally, maybe my computer's getting old. I'm using a MacBook Pro. My other one lasted me about 3 or 4 years. This one's about that old. So we'll see. There he is, Dan Snell, checking in. Man, I'm coming at you from Miami here. I'm going to hit the beach. It's beautiful. Finally, the sun came out. I've got a day to spend on the beach before I get in the plane tonight at 6. Merry Christmas to everyone. Thanks for checking in on the Michael D. Show. And get somebody on our webinar, beyondwebinar.com, where I teach you how to write a book in an hour. Dan Snell right there, the winsome candidate, the winsome way. Multiple best-selling author with Beyond Publishing, and Dr. Julie as well, and Adina. Love you all. Appreciate all of you. Great to have you on the show today. I'll go live later from the pier on Instagram. Stay tuned, my friends. I've been coming at you today on the Michael D. Show from StreamYard. Have a good one. God bless. Stay in touch. Don't be a stranger, and Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Dan, we got to get together. What is a W upside down? It's an M. Michael Mike and Winsome Dan. Thank you very much.